Hello students, this is Neha Sharma. Today in this video, we are going to see the explanation of the poem Amanda and the poetic devices used in the poem. So as we have read in our last video that this poem describes a girl named Amanda and her mother who is nagging her for her mistakes. She is first pointed out most probably by her mother for biting her nails and for not sitting in a right posture. And after that, to this situation, Amanda imagined herself as a mermaid who lives in a calm and relaxing life in the beautiful green sea. Further, she is nagged for not cleaning her room and for her shoes, and also not for doing her homework. So then she imagines herself to be an orphan because she is now fed up of being watched by her parents. Now, in the third situation, she is being scolded for eating too many chocolates as this causes pimples. So she is also scolded for not listening to her mother. So then Amanda thinks of being a Rapunzel, a character from a fairy tale, and wants to live in a huge tower like her. Let's see the stanzas and explanation of the video. So this is the picture where you can see Amanda with her mother who is scolding her. And this is the picture of the sea where she drift like a mermaid. This is the picture of a mermaid, you can see. And the last one is the picture of a Rapunzel. She wants to live on a tower. Let's read the poem. First stanza is from mother's side. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So this is the stanza spoken by Amanda. Next, once again, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Don't eat the chocolates, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower, a tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So this was the poem. Let's see the explanation of stanza 1. So as we have read, the stanza 1 said, this is from the mother's side. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So here hunch means bend. Slouching means sitting in a lazy way. And let's see what the mother says. So here the mother is saying or pointing out Amanda for biting her nails, which is a bad habit. Next, she asked her to sit straight without bending her shoulders. Amanda, who has habit of bending her shoulders and sitting lazily is being pointed out because her mother wants her to sit in a right posture. So, what happened to this? When she scolded her, when she guided her for that. So, what is the reaction of Amanda? Let's see in the next stanza. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So let's see the meanings. Meanings of languid means relaxed. Emerald means it's signifying the green color of the sea. Inhabitant means resident. Drifting means carried slowly by the water, and blissfully means happily. So what is the reaction of Amanda? What she wanted to do at this point of time when her mother is being scolded when she is being scolded by the mother, so that time she imagines herself to be in a deep green sea. She says that She wants to be the only resident of the beautiful green sea, means she wanted to live there alone. She imagines herself like a mermaid who is alone there and leads her life in a very relaxing way. She says that she wants to be carried away by the current of the water and feel the relaxing environment there. She didn't want any type of interference of anyone in her life. Let's see the second stanza number 3. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So what is she saying here? The mother is saying once again, she is inquiring Amanda about whether she has done her homework or not, and then she asks her whether she has cleaned her room or not. Moreover, she is also reminded to clean her shoes. So here we can see that the mother is constantly asking her questions regarding her homework being done or not, or whether she had cleaned up her room and shoes or not. But on the other hand, let's see what is the reaction of Amanda to this. So next stanza, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So orphan means a child whose parents are dead, and hushed word is there, that means quiet and still. So what is Amanda saying? She is imagining herself that if she would have been without parents, if she would have been orphan, she would have walked freely in the street. Why? She is fed up of all the inquiries, all the scolding of her parents, her mother. So that's why she wanted to be an orphan. So she would have drawn designs on the soft dust with her uncovered feet, with her bare feet, very quietly. So here in this stanza, we can see that she thinks opposite to her mother. Her mother wants her to keep everything neat and clean, but Amanda wants to play in dust with her bare feet. Moreover, she is so fed up of all these constant instructions from her that she says that silence is golden, which means that silence is very crucial and precious. She further says that freedom is sweet. This means she never feels free when she is with her mother. Let's see stanza number 5. Once again, mother is scolding her, and let's see what she is saying. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me? I am speaking to you, Amanda. So acne means pimples, right? So let's see what the next this stanza says. Here Amanda's mother is disallowing her to eat chocolate. She is stopping her to eat many chocolates. She reminds her of pimples that Amanda's face is due to eating chocolates. At last, she scolds her for not paying attention to what her mother says. At this moment, what Amanda thinks, let's see in the next stanza. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let you, my bride, hear. So she wanted to be Amanda at this moment when the mother is scolding her for not eating chocolates. So at that moment, she imagines herself to be a Rapunzel. Rapunzel was a creature from a fairy tale that was captured in the tower by a witch, and the witch used to climb the tower with the help of long hair of Rapunzel that were let down by her through the window. So now Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she feels that life in the tower will be peaceful and unusual. She thinks she will be free and live in a peaceful environment in the tower. She also confirms to herself that she will never let her hair down to anyone so that nobody could come to her in the tower. Next stanza. Here in this next stanza is from again the mother side. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So sulking means that be in a bad mood, and moody means unstable, where there are general ups and downs in the mood. Nag means to harass. So here in the stanza, Amanda's mother, she is actually now warning her for not behaving in a very she behaving in a very odd manner. She asks her to being in a bad mood. Moreover, she blames her for having such an unstable mood. She also scolds her by saying that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda was constantly being harassed by mother. So here we can say that though Amanda is always pointed out by her mother or every small thing, but she can't react to it. If she reacts towards this by getting emotional, her mother takes this against her sense of pride and scolds her that she should not behave like this, as others would think that Amanda's mother is very dominating towards her child. So let's next see the literary devices used in the poem. So the first literary device or the poetic device used in the poem is alliteration. And where alliteration is being used, let's see. In this line, stop that slouching and sit up straight. So here S sound has been repeated. So that is what? Alliteration. I have underlined the sound S here. Next one is once again alliteration in the line stop that sulking at once. So here also S sound is being repeated. So this is alliteration. Next is repetition. Repetition is what? It is the repetition of a single word in phrases or lines. So let's see where it is. In almost every line where the mother is saying that stanza, where the stanza is signifying to the mother, the word Amanda is being repeated every time. So that Amanda is repetition here. Next is anaphora. Anaphora is a poetic device in which a word or group of words is usually repeated at the beginning of the sentences. So let's see where it is. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. So here don't and don't. So this is what? Anaphora. Let's see one more is there. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? So here did you and did you is being repeated at the starting of the line. So this is anaphora. Next is metaphor. Metaphor is there in stanza number 2, 4 and 6, where she imagines herself as a mermaid, as an orphan and Rapunzel. Thanks for watching video. That's all for today.